High-Rise Mystery, Chapter 21. I turned on my phone's flashlight and shined it at George. "I cannot wait to recreate this for you guys. I'm living," he whispered, outside the hub. The doors were open, but no one was there. "I thought Katie and her crew would be crawling all over this place, to be honest," said George. "Where are they at? Where are those snowmen dusting for prints?" "Too early for that, bro," said Norva, stepping into the room. "Plus, we heard they're super low on numbers. Something happening up north. Just Katie, that Burnett guy, and Scary Sharp. All eyes are on the scene, for now. We ahead of the game." She tapped at her temple with her index finger. "Yeah, you right," said George. "You smart, Norva." "I know this," she replied. I was over the compliments. "Can we start, please, George?" Aight, he said. He moved into the centre of the room. My torch tracked him. Context. It was Jane and the Tri-Angels dish out their money night, yeah? "That's a hot band name, you know," said Norva. I was sitting here. He squatted on the spot. He ran to Barry's Burn. Jane was here. Another squat. "Your dad, old Joe, was here." He stepped left. A squat. George ran to the middle of the room, coughed and hunched over. And Hugo was here. He did a slow, feeble squat for effect. Norva's eyes were bright as she followed him around the room. True friendship. "It was absolutely roasting in here," he continued, fanning his face. "Some blonde kid was hanging out that window. The woman sitting here," he pointed, "had melted basically. A puddle person." He crumpled his body to the floor. Norva roared with laughter and lay next to him. Impressive, yeah, but not that funny. George was irritating. Norva was irritating. Together they were vexing. "Please, George, Norva, can we get to it? I understand you recorded the meeting, George." "Damn straight," he said, reaching into his pockets for his phone. "Glad I did too, because the internet is going to love this one now I can share it." The video started, slowly. It was mostly close-ups of George doing what he called freestyling. I had Norva's support for once. "Scrub through it, George. God, edit your content." Charity Jane sat at a table in front of Barry's Burn. Pap sat next to her. She spoke into the microphone. "Yay, welcome to the 85th Triangle meeting, everyone." Screeching feedback. Charity Jane leaned away from the microphone and applauded. "Great to see so many new faces tonight. For those who don't know me yet, I'm Jane Cooper, Chief Tri-Angel." George interjected. "Yeah, she's a chief all right." Norva laughed. "In it though." I shushed them. "The Tri-Angels is a charity run by and for me. I mean us," Jane laughed. "It's for everyone on the estate. Together we've raised thousands of pounds over the last 5 years to make improvements to our buildings and our lives. Thank you, all of you, for your continued support. Before we get into tonight, a couple of community notes for you. Firstly, I'm so very proud and pleased to announce that Kwame Kent from Corner 2 has been scouted by Crystal Palace Football Club. He will be officially joining the youth squad from September." The crowd erupted into applause and cheers. George turned the camera to his face and stuck out his tongue. Behind him, Jane continued, "Yes, excellent news. Don't forget us, Kwame." Secondly, a big angelic thank you to Serena from Corner 1 for providing the drinks tonight, Veronica's. "It's Vitonica, Jane," Serena shouted off camera. "That's the one. Thank you, Serena," Jane said tersely. "It's great to see a Tri business doing well. You could say it's tremendous." The three of us groaned, along with the other people in the video. George's video panned over to Serena, who stood up, took a cheeky bow and waved to the group. "Generous queen," Norva remarked. The video focused back on Jane. Now, back to tonight. Let's decide how we're going to spend the money we've raised over the last year. £5,000. Well done all. George scrubbed through the video a bit more. Let's cut to the reel, where it gets really good. Hugo stood up shakily. His skin was bright red. Heat stroke? Someone out of shot handed him a microphone. The Triangle Estate is a seminal example of brutalist architecture. There he goes. a style that's very much back in vogue, just in time for its 60th anniversary. The wider world and the general public are starting to understand just how brilliant and important these buildings are to us, our city and the world. The wider world and the general public are starting to understand how well made and how beautiful they are. People laughed in the background. "Well made, my butter cheeks," someone exclaimed. Others shushed him. We must give our thanks to the progressive vision of architect Ellis Silvertoe for our homes, our community and our lives. A confused silence swept across the hub. "So what are you saying, Hugo?" Someone slurred at the back. "Barry." Hugo coughed nervously. He held onto his chest before speaking. "What I'm saying is, I think we should use the money to erect a statue to commemorate the anniversary of the try. Celebrate the work Ellis Silvertoe, and by extension other great architects and artists of the period, Kloppenstein, I adore Kloppenstein, de Bussier, Serpens, etc." Hugo slumped in his chair. Serena reached into a cool bag and handed him a juice. He leant on her appreciatively as he drank. He was immediately cooler and calmer. The calm didn't extend to the rest of the room though. George's camera spun round. Someone at the back shouted, "Hugo, Hugo, Hugo, put on your knickers before your coat, Namin. It's a heat wave, bro. We out here suffocating, we need aircon, and you're talking about a statue. I'm perplexed." A voice at the front, "Hugo, you're being an utter pleb, to be honest. We need better lifts, renovations, a new health centre, a nursery, double glazing to sort out the noise. That's just for starters." People cheered. I spotted Miss Koluski nodding her head with closed eyes at this suggestion. Someone off camera, George really needed to work on his camera skills, said, "You know what though, a statue might be all right. Something positive and impactful. 5,000 isn't going to scratch the surface of the work that needs doing. We need millions for that, so why not get something, that's just nice for once." The crowd murmured at the possibility. George panned over them. There was Mark, mouth agape, eyes narrowed. Norva squealed. Pap stood up and walked around the table with ease. "No limp," I whispered.